Welcome to Graveyard Tours. Hello folks, please hit the subscribe button and the like button if you would. Holyrood, I think I'm pronouncing it right, Holyrood, or yeah, I believe it's Holyrood. 1832, it was developed in Georgetown, Washington, D.C. Now this place is kind of not really known to too many people. This is 6.5 acres. Again, it was started in 1832, so it's pretty old. So these are the hours of operations. I will take pictures. Again, if you've seen my other videos, I'll take pictures of all the placards. So don't worry. So again, this is Wisconsin Avenue right here, and this place is pretty interesting. Holyrood. Again, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right. Let's go ahead and read it real quick, okay? And then we're going to do a walking tour. Holyrood, Holy Trinity Catholic Church established Holyrood Cemetery and as its parish cemetery on high ground above Georgetown in 1832. The cemetery was expanded in 1853 to the 6.5 acres it is today. Originally known as the Upper Graveyard, in 1866, the cemetery was renamed Holyrood, taken from the Scottish Holy Rued, meaning Holy Cross. In the years following the Civil War, Holy Trinity added a house for the sexton, a hillside holding crypt to accommodate caskets during the winter months, a new gate, a stone retaining wall, and an entrance along High Street, now Wisconsin Avenue. Holyrood was an active cemetery into the late 20th century. It contains approximately 7,000 burials, many of them European immigrants who came to America to build the C&O Canal in the city of Washington. It is the oldest burial ground in the District of Columbia for African Americans, both free and enslaved, including the family of the pioneer educator Anne Marie Beecraft. Of additional historic interest is the grave of Joseph Nevitt, 1752 to 1834, an American Revolutionary War veteran. His plot is located along the fence on the western edge of the cemetery. In 2010, Georgetown University, current owner of the cemetery, and the Holy Trinity began a joint effort to restore and improve the cemetery grounds. To further this work, the university granted an easement allowing Holy Trinity to build a columbarium at Holyrood for the parishioners, university alumni, faculty and staff, family of those interned in the cemetery, and others. The columbarium, sorry, I don't hear that word too often, and the first phase of the cemetery restoration project were completed in 2019. The Holy Trinity columbarium is located on the restored holding crypt and in a new granite wall opposite the crypt in the southeast quadrant of the cemetery. And there she is, folks. So I'll still take a picture of it. You can read it at your leisure. But this is it, folks. The oldest cemetery in Washington, D.C. Pretty amazing. I'm sure the people here in D.C. know about this place, down here in Georgetown at least. But I tell you, I've worked in D.C. for most of my adult life, and I never knew this place here existed. So, place is pretty big. It's 6.5 acres. Obviously, I can't visit everything. Well, I mean, look at this. Look at this old tombstone right here. This headstone right here. Really cool. I mean, and of course, some of these I saw some ages from the 1950s and stuff like that. So this is actually my very first time too. Last time I came down here to Georgetown, I spotted this place and I put it in my memory bank to come and visit and to film it for you people. So it's pretty cold out here. It's Sunday. I wanted to come here on the weekend when I knew, because the parking is so bad. That's Wisconsin Avenue. All that you see back there in the background is Georgetown. Excuse me. So it's very cold. We're supposed to get snow today. And like I said, if you want to come and visit these places, especially in the city down here, best do it on the weekend, early morning. It's early morning right now. And that's why it's even colder, because it's probably about 8:30 in the morning. So it's pretty cold, chilly. It's January 2023. So anyway, so it's pretty amazing that, like the placard said, a lot of these people buried here were immigrants who came to build DC. They needed a lot of craftsmen. I'm telling you, DC, Georgetown area is filled with beautiful architectural buildings, and they needed craftsmen who knew what they were doing, stonemasons, etc. So, and a lot of them they had to bring them from Europe, and because they were very skilled in these crafts. So, and interestingly, I'm breathing heavy because I have a cold. So it's still, and if you saw my last video, you know, I had COVID, and you know, it took me a couple of weeks to get over that, but it also still had remaining effects on my breathing abilities, but I'm definitely over it now. But then now again, because it's so cold, and I've been doing a lot of traveling. Look at this. These are beautiful here. Let's check some of these out. Andrew Barbour, 1820-1900, and Suzanne Barbour, 1896. Look at that. Look at this. Anne Sophia Bolin. Wow, that is so cool. And it looks like, I mean, it's just really cool. Look at this one here. And if you see my other videos, you know, a lot of these, I'm finding out, a lot of these tombstones here, graveyards I mean, are haunted. They are haunted, and I'm getting a feeling here that this one here, I'm getting definitely some tingling here. I don't know what you call it. I get these feelings. So, and I'm getting it out here. And there's somebody in the graveyard over beyond here doing, I think, some yoga or some type of meditation, wearing shorts, and it's freezing out here. Let me tell you folks, I don't know how he's able to do it. I guess through his meditation. But anyway, so this, I mean, 6.5 acres doesn't seem like a lot, and it isn't. Once you're up here, you realize it's not really that big, but it's really cool. Look at these headstones out here. So again, I would say there's not many people buried out here with historical people, and you'd be surprised because in the other graveyard actually it's probably just a few blocks from here, they have a lot of historical figures buried there. But these were these were mostly the working class people who built DC, and they oh, here's an old one. Here's 1834, and they you know, they probably didn't have a lot of money. Sacred to the memory of John Riley, son of James and Mary Riley. Look at that. That is, you know, they don't inscribe. He rest in peace. Amen. Wow, look at that. Okay, so what does it say? On July 27, 1834, in the 19-something year of his, okay, so he was 19 years old, of his age, he rest in peace. Amen. You know, some of these people probably died at work, you know, doing their jobs, and died on the job, you know. Some of these people, you know, just died of old age. Not many of them, I bet. I can attest to that because working in construction most of your life, it wears your body down to hardly anything. So, and I'm, you know, I'm feeling it my age now. Cecilia Peters, 1860. Rest in peace. I tell you, it's pretty cold. Pretty cold. Now, you know, here, okay, you see this empty spot here. Okay, I guarantee you these are burials here too. Here's one right here, for example, where a headstone was resting. Here's a pedestal. Disappeared, you know. Even back in the day, you know, people would actually even steal the headstones, you know, for some sick reason. But look at that, Mary Kirby. Wow, 1856. Here's an interesting one. This person probably had some money because, I mean, you know, they had this Mary Adele McPherson. That sounds Irish to me. Who departed this life August 1851, age, what? 11 years old and 8 months. What does it say? This lovely bud, so something and faint, hence by early doom. Name, okay, I don't know. I can't read it really, to be honest with you. One, it's freezing out here, and two, it's worn down. So it looks like this is a cedar tree. So whoever, and this is a newer one. This is in the 1950s. Maybe they stopped burying around 1950 out here. But they also said that on the placard that the parishes people who run this place, their families are allowed to be buried here. I don't know where they're going to place them because there's no place to bury anybody, it seems like. So, you know, even these empty spots, I guarantee you this is probably a piece of a headstone right there. I got some dog chasing me, a little dog. So anyway, so there's people out here, they just hike out here. This is DC, so this is a little private alcove for a lot of people. And you can see that this is unused land right here. A little bit like of a park. So anyway, this is not as secluded as you imagine, but still secluded for most people who even live in DC. Maybe not in Georgetown. They just don't. Here's a bunch of headstone pieces here. Oh, look at this one. The tree literally grew. It's growing around it. Ella R. 18, or is that 1910? Looks like 1910. That's pretty cool. Look at that. Yeah, so I did start to get some feelings out here that there's probably unrested souls out here who are hanging out here. So, like I said, watch my other videos where I literally communicate with spirits through the flashlight trick. Look at this. And if this place is gated, and it looks like probably lock it at night, so I don't think anybody's coming in here at night, so I probably won't be able to do a ghost communication out here. Look at this. Here's lined with stone. This is a graveyard right here with no real headstone. I don't think this headstone here belongs to that. This just says McNally. That's Irish, but I don't think it belongs. It's off kilter, so I think this is a separate burial. But it's amazing. DC has, there's 1869. DC has a lot of history out here. Beautiful architecture, and thanks to most of these people who helped build it, you know, they had to travel across a boat to get here. How they found out there was jobs here, I don't know. I'm sure they printed it in the papers that come to America. If you have skills. Here's John Sullivan. See, this is mostly Irish I'm seeing out here. Sullivan and stuff like that. This is all Irish. You know? So anyway, there's a small park surrounding it around there. But yeah. So I guess they would come out here, and they had to travel across a boat, which probably took over a month to get here. Imagine never being on a boat and you travel out here, and how sick you get on these boats then they get here, and you know, maybe some of them had family over here already waiting for them. Maybe I'm sure some of them didn't have anybody waiting on them. Maryville. I'm seeing a lot of women's names out here, you know, and can you imagine then coming out here and then being put to work, you know, and they probably lived in slums. Looks like there's a parking lot. Yeah, there's a basketball court down there, so it's a usable park out there. You know, so you know, I love to think back and how was life like for these people, you know, because I think it's really interesting, and it's historic. So imagine, I've seen pictures. Look at this. Now this is really neat. Let's read this real quick. Beneath this stone lieth the remnants John Leonard Esquire, I think, a native of the states of New Jersey in the United States of America. I mean, who writes this stuff? You know, they don't write this stuff anymore like this. Who was taken to his God in the 64th year of his life, it looks like. I mean, you know, I mean, that is old. That is old. I mean, that's old style English, you know? Really cool. Really, really cool. So, if you can hear it, I'm sorry, folks. If I have the sniffles, I have a cold. It's really cold in here with a cold, and I'm just suffering a little bit. My nose is got the drippies and everything. So, look at this. Look at this, though. So yeah, so okay, you know, let's try to go back and imagine ourselves. You know, here's a headstone buried. And it looks like those are townhouses back there. John Keaton, 1858, age 65 years. So he lived, and Margaret Keaton, his wife. You know, so try to imagine yourself coming. You're over in Ireland, okay, and you see in the paper, or you hear through word of mouth that, yeah, the free travel to America, and you get a job, you know, and you know, you have this accent, oh, look at this, broken and just laying here. I hate seeing this, because this is going to disappear through time and completely, like, just be completely washed away, and nobody will know. This must be and then you come here, right? So you're over there, you're in your country, you leave your family, your loved ones, and then you're on this boat. You've never been on a boat in your life, probably, and you get sick, so sick just being on the boat. Let's read this real quick. Here's the Revolutionary War soldier Joseph Nevitt, private of Maryland, born 1752 in St. Mary's County, Maryland. St. Mary's County, wow, that's a beautiful place, St. Mary's County. I've been there before. Died October 25th, 1834 in Washington County, District of Columbia. That is so cool. Thank you for your service. And here's his headstone, and got some flags. So, let's get back to the story. So, you come here, then you get here, and I guarantee you that you're put in some slum area. You know, here's somebody left a beer bottle. I don't like to see that kind of stuff. There's some broken headstones, completely forgotten. You can see some writing on there, but nobody's going to be able to interpret this. This looks like, oh, this is intact. Look at that. So you get here, and they do look like they have some empty grounds here. So they save some areas, like it said, for people's families to be buried here who are running this place. Okay, so you get here, you're put in some slum. You're lucky that you don't get a disease while you're on the boat. Well, first of all, yeah. So first of all, you come to Ellis Island, probably in New York, and you're probably under quarantine, because that's what they did, because they didn't want all these people, you know, they're letting a lot of immigrants in. We're all immigrants. I'm an immigrant. My family's immigrants from Europe. And so, you know, you probably put under under quarantine for a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so, and if you weren't sick, then you finally get released, and then you had to travel again to come to DC. Look at this, Rosetta Western, 1934. That's a very unique headstone. It's slate, very unique. And then you get here, you're put to work. Again, you're probably in some slum area. And well, then by then you'll probably meet up with people from your country, and you're hanging out together at the pubs and everything like that. And then you find a wife. I can see 1887 here, Mary Blanchard. You know, and then you work until you die. You know, and a lot of times disease would take you, or an accident would take you. Nellie McGrath. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of Irish names here. So yeah, that was it, you know. And then you get interned here, you know, and maybe your family had to scrape together to get a small headstone for you. And then if your wife survived you, then, you know, she had to somehow survive. They didn't have places to go, you know. She probably had to look for another husband, and so. And she probably, you know, these people suffered. I mean, these people suffered in their life just trying to survive, you know. That's one thing I love about the human race. We survive, you know. We, you know, I mean, you know, we get lazy, we get spoiled if we're able to, but when it comes down to it, we buck down, and then we do what we have to do to survive, you know. And a lot of sad stories here. I'm feeling it. Like, I'm literally feeling all of these stories, and these memories are just flooding my brain right now, like how it was for these people, you know. It's just incredible. Here's something with just initials. Probably some worker, his family, that's all they could afford. Maybe even the job, if he died on the job or something, maybe they even, you know, paid for a small little headstone. Here's a small little headstone right here. And of course, here's, you know, you got these townhomes right here. And this is Georgetown, folks. So if you've never been to Georgetown, believe me, these little townhomes right here cost probably close to $1 million for one of these places. And look at this. Here's another broken one. It looks like it says Catherine. And I see 1836 on it, or it might be 1836. So yeah, I'm feeling like the energies for this place, you know, and maybe me telling the story is helping the unrested souls here, because I know there's unrested souls here. Actually, I'm feeling it. I felt it more on the other side of the hill than I do here. Like I said, if you watch my other videos, I'm a spiritual person. At least I try to be as much as possible. But I've had so many experiences. I had a near-death experience. I died on the operating table. And I grew up in a haunted house. The second house when I was a child we moved into, it was extremely haunted with an angry spirit. Wasn't a friendly spirit, a very angry spirit. So anyway, so we you know, almost all the family members had experiences growing up there. So I don't know. And then when I died on the operating table, I don't know, I started getting feelings and stuff like that. So I can feel it. You know, it's nothing special. I think other people, a lot of people, can feel when there's spirits around. Let's walk through here. You know, so I don't think I have any very special psychic abilities or anything like that. It's just I just pick up energy feelings, I guess. I don't know what you call it. Never really investigated. I watch a lot of haunted the haunted TV shows, or the ghost shows they call it. And yeah, so, and I learned from that, you know. So, and I'm no expert. I never really studied it or anything like that. I just found out I can feel the presence of spirits when they're around me, and I guess maybe when they want me to know, and that's probably has something to do with it. Now, this is interesting. Look at this headstone here. Very beautiful. Look at that. That's a beautiful headstone. Simple but beautiful. I mean, but craftsmanship, you know, craftsmanship. So yeah. Anyway, but I think a lot of people can feel spirits when their spirits are around them. And anyway, so for some reason I'm being drawn here. Sarah Wells, 1915. So look at these. Now these, obviously, these people had money because they could afford these headstones like this. And that's Mary Kengla. Oh, that's an unusual name. Kengla. Died 1894, 60 years of age. So not everybody was poor who was buried out here, obviously. Oh, and here's Henry Kengla. Died in 1903, so he looks like he outlived his wife, and much more ornate, it looks like. Headstone. Here's an old one here. So, well, there's a lot of old ones here. I mean, these are. To me, this is just beautiful. I don't know why I'm so attracted to Mary Poor. Oh, what a name, huh? Mary Poor. Oh my goodness, with a name like that. But she must not have been too poor, because it's a pretty big headstone. They must have had a little bit of money, but with a name like that, oh my God. What's your name? Oh, my name is Mr. Poor. This is my wife, Mary Poor. I mean, come on. Where does that come from? Elizabeth Scott. 1817, looks like. Or 1812, can't tell. And here, obviously, was somebody who didn't have money. MES. You know, oh, here's a crypt. Let's see this one here. So, yeah. Anyway, so, you know, try to put yourself in other people's shoes. Let's be nicer to each other. Let's, you know, try to show some respect to others, and learn, because we're all gonna die, folks. We're all gonna die. And what is this? Look at this. This is just sitting here, nothing written on it. Very unusual. Just sitting here, pretty thick slab of slate, it looks like. And obviously you can't even read what's on this anymore. But obviously this costs money to have something like that done, to be buried in it. But yeah, we're all, none of us, I used to say a lot that none of us are getting out of this place alive. You know, it's like if you watch, you know, some kind of sci-fi movie, or, you know, adventure movie, and you're faced with, oh, we either do this or we die. You know, it's like, and I think that's where I picked it up. And they used to say, oh, none of us are getting out of this alive. So I adopted it. Look at this now. This is interesting. This must be a family. Let's see, Hawkins. Bono Hawkins Thorne. Okay, so maybe, like, you know, these families came together, got married. Here's Hawkins Callahan. Here's Thorne Bono. So that's what it is. Here's a Taylor. And this one's recent. Well, not so recent. 1943. Lula Thorne. And that's a neat name for a woman, Lula. I like that. Yeah. So here's mother, here's father, here's Mary Hawkins. So yeah, this is pretty cool. And they must have had some kind of influence to be able to be buried all here together, you know, to pay for this small lot here. And here's somebody who has some money. In memory of the children of Mary and Daniel Shea. Bridget Burke died March 1880. Mary Marshall, John Burke, Mary Burke. And so they all died at different, you know, but pretty old. And unfortunately, is being covered. The face of the statue is being covered. But It doesn't give the dates when they were, just gives the death date. So that tells me they were probably all children, just like this placard says, in memory of the children. So they might have got hit with a disease, wiped out the whole family. I've seen this time and time again, more than once, at different cemeteries where they have the whole family written, completely buried. It says French. Maybe they were French, I don't know. Or, so Adele French died 1890. Thomas French, Captain U.S. Army, retired. Okay, so, and here is the last name, probably was French. So here is the, looks like the Mother Mary of Jesus. That's what it looks like to me. And here's another cedar tree. And they're buried along cedar tree. So yeah, we're supposed to get snow today, so I'm gonna cut this short soon. But I just wanted to give you guys a little tour, a little walking tour here. Oh, and it looks like what's going on here. 1992. So I don't know why this was dug up. Maybe they had to replace it. Maybe it got destroyed and the family came and brought for a new one. So, and then I don't know. Just, you just don't know. But yeah, really cool, folks, really cool. Some interesting and beautiful ornate. But I really love these old ones like this. You know, this is what I get drawn to. These very old historic headstones, and I always try to think of the history behind these people, how they lived and what they probably went through, how they got here and how they died, and all these things, you know. It's just very interesting to me. So, and also, like I said, it's also the history, you know. We're in DC, you know, capital of the United States, and there's some headstones here. This is land, and the history of it, you know, and everything. And it's just really cool. Wow, what's this? Somebody, LL Jug, Riyadh's 1800 GWA. I think somebody just, you know, colored in so they can see. But it's kind of weird because it looks like the headstone would be this way, but then why is it right in here? I don't know. Maybe they did some research. Maybe this is a family member and they knew that this was their old headstone and they wrote sideways on it. I don't think it was carved that way. But let's see if we can walk down here. Okay, let me see. There's some kind of crypt here. So let's look at these. These are almost in the ground completely. Let me try to walk and see on top of the crypt. What's this? This is a dome, a glass dome. Now that's a glass dome, but you can't really see anything inside. I mean, it just goes down to a certain point. So a lot of times you'll see these crypts, they'll have vents because gases build up and stuff like that, and so they'll vent them. And so yeah, this is interesting little spot here. I'm making this longer than I thought I would, but that's how it goes, you know. Like I said, it's the first time I've been here, and I want you to explore it with me. So I appreciate it if you take the time and watch the whole video. If I can do anything differently, you know, let me know. I'll try. I'll do my best. I'm definitely no expert at this, but look at that. Grace, 1979. So Noon and Grace, and then look, here's an old headstone just falling over almost underneath the fence. And who knows if there's any burials outside this fence, because you know this fence obviously was put up later date. Maybe there's some burials just outside there, you know, this fence line, and they just decided they had to put the fence somewhere. So, you know, well, let's go here. I have to see this crypt. Yeah, this is really cool though. Oh, so I see what this is. Okay, so they have, you know, probably ashes are interned here. And this is obviously new, 2019, 2020. Okay, so this is I think this is the part where the people who run this place, it said the placard that their families are allowed to be buried here. So this is why they created this, just for the ashes. But let's go here. So some of these are old. Daniel Donovan, 1925, and Catherine Donovan. Okay, this section here is not as old as the other sections, but it still has some history here. You can tell that, you know, but these people might have had more money too, because this is like a little special enclave. So this one looks pretty old. Delia Bolin. That sounds Irish to me. Yeah, this is one's really old. 1891. And John Bolin, 1890. Age, I can't see that. Can't really read it. Anyway, now here's this crypt. Now I wonder who's buried here. I don't see a name. I see, what's this, an initial? Or it might have been a family crest here or something. Oh, here we go. Okay. I should look before I speak. Okay, again, this is where family, oh, and then that dome was for that light right there. So that light is actually, it's not a light, it's a dome light. It's a, you know, it's to let the light shine through naturally. All right, so this is new. This is new. Okay. So in the placard, they also said they built this crypt. Okay, now I put it together. Sorry, folks. Sometimes I'm a little slow at these things, and I just get excited and I don't pay attention, and then it all comes back to me. But yeah, so hope you enjoyed this video, and watch my other videos, because like I said, I do a montage of different things. And I just saw another placard. We'll go and read that real quick too. And then this just says BC and JC. So yeah. Custard, 1921, William Custard. Okay, let's read this real quick. This was made in 2019. I remember the placard said that. Okay, so Holy Trinity Columbarium and Cemetery Restoration, November 2019. Okay. All right, so yeah, so they just added this spot. They added that crematorium over there, sanatorium there, or whatever you call it, but there's still some older headstones placed in there, so they just were able to place that there. This looks like a newer section here. Yeah, so, but you know, like I said, it's look at that, that's beautiful. That is beautiful there. The lettering is worn down to nothing. So this is it, folks. This is it. Anyhow, yeah, so watch my other videos too. I have some interesting ones in there where I'm able to communicate with the spirits, and other just historical, where I'm not even I didn't when I started the channel, I didn't want to do any spiritual stuff at all. I was just interested in historical place. But you know, I'm going to these graveyards, Mary, Virginia. I'm going to these graveyards, and 1845 is pretty old, and I'm picking up these energies, you know, and it's like they want to communicate. So I'm like, okay, let's do it, you know, let's see what happens. So I'm no expert at it, so you know, it just, you know, kind of falls into place, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do, meant to do more of. I don't know. I'm just doing what comes natural to me. That's all. So, and I do all of this on the cuff. Sometimes I do research, sometimes I don't. You know, the places that I think that need to be done research on, I'll do it. You know, but others, it's just like, no, let's just, I don't feel like it. And it's like, just like, I feel like let's just go out here and explore and share it with everybody. And I hope you guys enjoy it. So that's what I do. So that's how I do it. But anyway, if I could do something better, you know, leave a comment. I'll do my best. But I'm going back out now to where I came in. back out to Wisconsin. And, oh yeah, and so Sunday, if you guys come out here, if you go on Sunday, you don't have to pay for parking on the street, that is, anyway. You do have to pay Monday through Saturday. They will give you a ticket. They are very good at writing up tickets here in Georgetown and anywhere in DC. They are very quick and love writing out the tickets. They make good money off of that. So if you come out on Sunday, you don't have to worry about the parking. That's it, folks. Don't worry, I'm going to take pictures of these 2 placards here, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.